Thank you, Monsignor. And thank you all for giving me some of your time here today. My husband and I have been members of the cathedral here since 1988. About 12 years ago, I was asked to join the pastoral council here for the church. And in 2014, after Jack White passed away, I was asked to join the finance council, to be the liaison between the finance council and the pastoral council, taking information back and forth between the two councils. I have been serving the cathedral in that capacity ever since. I was asked to co-chair the Christ the Cornerstone campaign because I, along with others, have been a part of the conversation regarding the cathedral renovation since we first began having problems here several years ago. We on the campaign have been working very hard, really hard. As of this past Tuesday, we have collected pledges totaling $835,500 from 42 households. We have a small group of very dedicated volunteers working hard, making phone calls, reaching out to families of the parish to speak about the needs that we face. We could use more volunteers if anyone is willing to make phone calls. We are seeking a 3-year pledge by all members of this parish to address an extraordinary need. Extraordinary in the fact that this is over and above our regular Sunday offerings, which are still needed for normal everyday costs, to make the payroll, to keep the lights on, and to support our school system. For the campaign, we are asking every family to consider a pledge of $3,000 over the next 3 years. If you were to make a 10% down payment of $300, that would come out to about $75 a month for the next 36 months. We have also made heartfelt appeals to those in our faith community who have been blessed with the means to make a pledge above and beyond the suggestion. We would like every household to participate with a pledge, making your gift a sacrifice back to God in thanksgiving for the gifts that He has given you. Please work with the volunteer who reaches out to your family. Please welcome their calls as you would a family member's call. It's not easy for us. The volunteers calling can answer any questions that you may have and can record your pledge over the phone or in person. We know there are a lot of people that want to help. $3,000 a family. When I was first told that that would be the ask, I thought, this is going to be rough. But this ask is a necessary ask. You see, about 5 years ago, water started showing up in this cathedral in places that it shouldn't. The floor of the Marian Chapel, seeping through places in walls throughout our church, water in the choir loft, water in the bell tower. Working on several times over the years, we have had contractors here looking at the cause of the problem. They have worked on the roof, sealed stones, rerouted gutters, but water travels in the path of least resistance, and stone is porous. There were times we thought this problem was taken care of. Then something else would happen, and then one day, about 2 years ago, a stone fell from our steeple out in the very front of our church, and when it hit the ground, it shattered, and it sprayed pieces from where it landed. It was pretty scary to hear about. In March of 2019, a drone was sent up to take video footage so that we could see what was going on up there. And the pictures that it gave us were really heartbreaking. There were big cracks and fractures in several stones. In the winter months, water gets in, and with the freeze and the thaw cycles, those fractures were getting bigger, and the cracks were not in just one area. There are several areas of concern. There were discussions about what to do. We were given a quote for a truly Band-Aid type approach. How long would that Band-Aid last? Someone said, we're going to need a miracle. There was talk of taking the steeple down altogether and capping our beautiful church. But our bishop said no, and rightly so. This church is the mother church of the Diocese of La Crosse. This church has always shown great strength to our community. That steeple is a part of the landscape of this city, as much a part of La Crosse's landscape as the Twin Towers were to the New York City landscape. And many of you may remember how our community came together here in this very cathedral to pray after the events of 9/11, a symbol of strength for our community. You see that steeple when you come into La Crosse, whether you're flying above in an airplane or coming over the Big Blue Bridge, or when you come off the interstate taking the downtown exit. It's a prominent sight to people who come to town on one of the paddle boats stopping down at Riverside Park. The steeple of the cathedral is a part of La Crosse. It is and has been called a landmark of faith. That steeple is a vision of strength, a strong faith, a strong community. And under that steeple, there are so many treasures of art and history and music and beauty. Our steeple is falling down, and we need a miracle. This is not some sort of a wish list thing. Our steeple is falling down, and we cannot wait. The longer we wait, the worse it gets. And because of a virus, a lot of people can't even come to church right now, and we have to ask them for money. It's really a difficult time to be asking for help. An architectural company was called in to do a construction survey on our church back in January. They presented us with a figure of $6.1 million. Not only is the steeple falling down, but water has gotten in and caused damage elsewhere. There are so many necessary things that need to be done. $6.1 million. We have 430 families in our parish here at the cathedral. So that's about $14,000 a family. $4.5 million of that number is just for our steeple. So that's $10,500 a family. I was thinking, we can't do that. There's no way we can pull that kind of money together. And then we were given a wonderful grant from St. Ambrose Financial. If we can raise $1.5 million, they will grant us $3 million. $1.5 million comes out to about $3,000 a family. That's the amount that's needed just to fix our steeple. $3,000 per family. We know it is a hard number for a lot of people and an impossible number for many. St. Ambrose Financial has given us a gift with this grant, and our bishop has given us a gift with our new rector. Monsignor Gillis has been using the word rebirth. When it comes to his new position, when it comes to this new portion of life in our cathedral, he comes to us with energy and positivity and enthusiasm. He is working hard to bring our parish through some pretty difficult times. He is doing so much to reach out to people through all sorts of new and different mediums during these trying times. He has introduced the My Parish app to parishioners so that he can reach out frequently to us. He is on Facebook with fun and interesting videos that he calls Monsignor's Minutes. He is drawing people in. He is working with the Pastoral Council on the hopes and dreams for our parish for when we come out on the other side of COVID. And through my work on the Finance Council, I want you to know that he is also working on trying to keep all of the expenses here down, to be a good steward of the gifts that he has been entrusted. He went through every item in our last budget, slashing expenses. He is doing so much to try to revitalize our parish. But that's a pretty big problem we've got right out there outside our front door, and it needs to be taken care of. Rebirth. Monsignor is here to help us through the delivery of our parish into a new and brighter future. He's working hard to bring that future to us. I cannot wait to walk in this church again through those front doors. Birth is hard. Anyone who's a parent knows that. This building is like our children. It's a part of all of us. We all have special, intimate memories of things that have happened within these walls. Times we have spent on our knees asking God to help us through a difficult situation. Times spent praying for miracles in our own lives. Weddings and funerals and sacraments for our children. Feelings that prayers have been answered and feelings that prayers were denied. People came before us to build this place for us to bring our prayers. Our gifts will build up this church and lay a foundation for a brighter future here at St. Joseph the Workman so that we can leave a legacy of faith to those who come after us. We are at a really low point right now in this parish, but there's hope. It is not so low a point that if we all pushed a little harder, made a little bit more of a sacrifice than what's comfortable, that our church could not be reborn. There are so many people here that want it to happen, and we will all fight for a new life here in this sacred place. I believe in God, and I still believe in miracles. I know this is a difficult ask, but I also know that we can do this. Volunteers from the campaign will be available after Masses in the gathering area these next several weeks to answer questions, and I will be available for you anytime that you may have a question about this campaign or about making your pledge. Thank you all for your time, and thank you all for all that you do for this parish.